Howdy, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Stay Creative Podcast, a podcast I'm working on to highlight the talented folks I meet while using their insights and experience to encourage those listening to engage more with their own creativity. Today we will be talking with Don. He produces electronic music under the name Monks. We're going to be talking with him about his life, his influences, his process for creating, and just some of the experience that he has and some of the tips that he may have for other creators. It's going to be a good conversation, so stick around. First off, Don, I want to thank you for taking time today to talk to me and
My pleasure,
share part of your time with the whole community here. I know the community is excited. We're always very excited to get to know more of our members, in more detail, like not just the tear down and screenshots of their EQs and their plugins, but also just their lives in general and their history.
Real
and what
talk.
makes them. Yeah, real talk. I also want to take a moment just to thank everybody who is here listening. We have quite a few people. I feel like you guys tuning in and providing insight and support and just listening, like it really provides a different type of life to this than it would if me and Don were just talking, in the middle of the night just to one another. Like there's a electricity involved when everyone contributes this way.
There's electricity involved now too, though.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's pretty cool that this actually is a thing and it works. And
yeah, absolutely. But everyone listening, please hold your questions off for Don until the end. We'll do a whole, community question portion of the conversation at the end. It's easier for me to stay focused on what we're talking about if I'm not trying to read the chat too much. So, first off, we want to get to know more about you, Don. Where are you from? That's going to be the first question.
I'm from Belgium. I'm actually from Hasselt. It's like one of the more known cities in Belgium, I think. It's not really a lot to see here, but it's better than living in, I don't know, Botswana or something.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm 19 years old. I've been making music for it, I think 7 years now. I started with playing guitar. I still play guitar to this day. And I slowly got into electronic music, and that's how I ended up here.
Yeah. I like knowing somebody's journey, especially starting, I guess that would put you at 12 or so when you started guitar.
I started playing guitar at my 12.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know anything about music. I wasn't really interested in music. I just did it for the chicks.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, motivation's motivation.
Yeah, it's just a motivation.
Yeah, sticking to the kind of about you portion of our questions here. Do you what do you currently do, like as a day job?
I'm not actually doing a job right now. I'm still in school.
Oh, okay.
I'm still studying. I'm studying adult. How do you call it? Adult classes or something.
Yeah,
like for grown-ups. Music production.
Yeah.
Something I really like to do, and it's nice to have someone teach you the things you never really thought about or something.
For sure, yeah. And I would say, getting higher education is a job for sure. Like that's something that requires a lot of your time that you spend there, but also a lot of your own mental energy when you're even at home, I'm sure. So what are some of your favorite non-music things to do? Be that like favorite movies or books or just activities?
Non-music. Got me in the corner right here. No, I like skateboarding. I've been skating for about, also since my 12th, I think, for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, man, I bet you couldn't keep the chicks away with a skateboard and a guitar.
Nah, I don't know. At first, I wasn't really good at both of them. I'm alright now, I think, but it's not my main thing to do.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's more about having fun with my friends.
Yeah. I think just time with friends, honestly, it doesn't get enough praise as an activity of its own.
No,
it's a hobby.
Yeah, man, I really feel it right now with all the quarantine stuff going on, that I really miss my friends. I really liked hanging out with them, even though it was just sitting on the canal or something, watching the sunset was really fun. And now I don't get to do this, and I really miss it actually.
Yeah. Well, there's I read something once about like sadness being an indication of what you value, and I think when all this quarantine stuff is past us, we're all gonna really sink back into our favorite things with a little more vigor. That's awesome. Certainly. It can't last forever, man. We'll get back to the world.
I hope it doesn't. Skate parks are closed right now. It really sucks, man.
Yeah. That's awful. I mean, you'd think if anything was going to be safe, it would be a big open area where people do not want to collide into each other.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, why do people close this? Like, there was, next to the skate park, there was like a running track, like that circle that people run on. And that wasn't closed. People were running around on that thing. And I was like, how come they don't close this? And they do close the skate park.
Yeah. Let's kind of carry on with more of your musical origin story. Who were some of your earliest influences?
My earliest influences. I'd say Queens of the Stone Age was one of my biggest band of one of the bands that I liked most. Actually, it's like one of the fewer or lesser. I don't know how do you say it, but one of the bands I really listened to all of their tracks. And I haven't really got the patience to really listen to a lot of music. That's one of the bands I really liked, and I went to see them once. It was really cool. Yeah, probably that, and some earlier on stoner rock and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, awesome. I know. I think Dave Grohl played drums for Queens of the Stone Age a little while.
Yeah.
That kind of brought them into my attention for a while there. So they've got some amazing
some fire
jams.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So moving up to kind of today, like who's somebody that's really inspiring you now as far as guitar still or your kind of electronic work too?
Probably a lot of house DJs actually, and more alternative electronic music like Fortet and John Hopkins. Recently, someone showed Avdraf, or how do you want to call him?
That's how I'd say it. Yeah.
He has shown me John Hopkins, and I was really intrigued by it. It was awesome, actually. A lot of people, actually. I like a lot of people.
Yeah. Before quarantine kind of locked us all up, was there I guess a scene might be the term for it, there in Belgium that you were a part of, like a community of clubs and DJs and things?
In Belgium, you have like the Compass Club in Compass. I don't know how to pronounce it. In Ghent, I don't know if you know Ghent.
I'm knowing it now. I'm learning it now. So
yeah, it's like how do I can't find the words. A place where you can go party. What's the word for that?
Like a club, like a nightclub.
Yeah, a club.
Yeah,
it was a really well-known club where they mostly spin techno and all that
Yeah,
music. But
yeah.
I once went there to see Bicep. It was really cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. But that's far away from me actually. That's 2 hours with the car. So that's about it actually from the cool places.
Yeah. 2 hours for a show. That's I've gone to shows that have been similar distances, and it's always like easy to get there and then dozing off driving on the way back.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours back too.
Yeah, I actually went by train, and I had to stay up till the morning after to take the train back.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So one question that I have, kind of sticking with just some of your influences and music that you're into, is more of a weird question, I guess. If you could put an album or a song into a time capsule and send it 1,000 years in the future, what would that album or song be?
I'd probably stick with Queens of the Stone Age. I think the first album, or Rated R or something like that. Apart from that, I don't know. I choose maybe. Do you know Go On Sound?
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, they're like glitch hop. It's like dubstep. I don't know, weird stuff, but their sound design is like never seen before. They're so well. It's so well done.
That's awesome. I'll check that out. I've never even
you really
heard
have
of
to check
glitch
them
hop
out.
before.
They're
sounds
crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably them. It's not the thing that I listen to a lot, but yeah, it's just mind-blowingly well done.
Yeah, awesome. That sounds like the kind of thing that the people in the future may need, especially if this quarantine persists and we're all isolated. They'll open it up and be like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know music like this existed."
Really, they have one track that's actually called "Welcome to the Future."
Awesome. Yeah, that's the song that plays as they open the time capsule.
Yep.
And the fog machine is filling the room with mist. Awesome. Well, so I know you mentioned briefly that there's a unique history, or maybe just an interesting history of electronic music there in Belgium. Is that something that you have spent time studying in your time learning to make it, or is that just kind of something that's prevalent in the culture?
It's actually just something that I know about, but I haven't really checked it a lot. It's like, I don't know if you know Bonsai Records. It's like hard trance, psytrance kind of music, but they were really prevalent in the 90s, and it was like a record label with only Belgian producers, but they made world hits actually, and new beats, that kind of genre. And the new wave is really all kind of Belgian.
yeah, that's awesome. I'll do some looking into that too.
It's pretty cool actually. It's like the rave scene back in the 90s was really Belgian.
Well, so moving from the musical culture that you came up in, and kind of your own personal journey through guitar, rock and roll, into more DJs and wonderful glitch hop, which I'm gonna learn how to make that just so I can say I make glitch hop, because it feels cool to say.
It's crazy genre. It's like drum and bass, dubstep, and all that crazy music combined with some funk added on top.
That's awesome. let's talk more about what you are currently making. I listened through a good deal of your stuff, and I enjoyed how from EP to EP or album to album, there was a consistency about like kind of the style you bring to it. There's always like a heartbeat that stays pretty consistent through the song, even with other elements coming and going in interesting ways. Like there's panning and there's fading and there's dynamics that shift, and sometimes the beat falls back and it's just kind of a pulse as opposed to a kick drum. And I love really, that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I love that it almost puts like, because your tracks are also on the longer side of some of the electronic.
Yeah, they're probably long actually. Pretty. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's good.
All like 6-7 minutes or something.
Yeah, some of them absolutely are. And I mean, your EP on Bandcamp, Pictures for Money.
Yeah, the last one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, it's only 2 tracks, but it's like 10 minutes long. And listening to it, I made maybe a false connection between your project name, Monks, and almost a meditative state to the music. Is that something that you're intentionally kind of going for, no, like leaving the music and not so much?
not so much. It's just I don't know. Some people have called my music like boring, but still fun to listen to, or something. It's like there's always changing some stuff, but not that noticeably. That's maybe the thing that keeps you going. Instead of thinking this is just the same beat all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement, but it's very subtle, and it's never the lines of the song. Those stay pretty consistent. Which I enjoy. It's good stuff. So speaking of your Pictures for Money EP over there on Bandcamp, it was strange because it felt both like a nightclub scene in a movie. But also it had these super rich, almost like percussion sounds that didn't sound like MIDI percussion. It sounded like rim taps and things like that. That almost felt more natural. And then occasionally these nature sounds would come in. I think the second track on there was just like bird noises starting off the track.
I think it was the first track actually, but it doesn't matter.
What was it, the first track? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, so like there's this enjoyable blend of kind of natural sounds, organic sounds, and this electronic dance pulse. So talk to me just about the process of making that album. Like how did you get inspired for that? What was the process of making those 2 tracks? Was it, an hour at a computer, or did you labor over it a long time? I just want to know the story behind that.
Typically, the tracks that I release are mostly tracks that I've spent a lot of time on. But they came pretty naturally, actually. I was just sitting at home, quarantined, and it was nice weather outside. And I got a little bit of a, I don't know, beach vibe, nature vibe.
Yeah.
The thing I always start out with is just the drum, the groove, and the groove really has to sit well to start building on top of that. That's because, like you said, with the percussion and stuff, I really try to get the percussion and the main groove on point before adding melodics and chords and all that stuff.
Okay, I can hear that. There's a keen appreciation for the rhythm section.
Probably the thing I am most comfortable. How do you say that? Comfortable with?
Yeah.
It's just I really like the feeling of being locked into the groove of something. Like you start bobbing your head and you know what's coming next, but it's not that predictable. But like in that genre, it really has to be kind of predictable. And then sometimes those little switch ups make it interesting to me. So that's what I like to do most, I think.
Yeah, well, I dig it. Another track that kind of had that same feel was one you sent me that wasn't on your Bandcamp, but it was called That Song with the Ocean in It.
I sent this one to the Feedback guys, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah. thing I noticed most about that track, and in specific, was that it started with that kind of ocean tide sound, the rolling in and rolling out of wave sounds, and then within a few moments, when the melodic elements came in, they almost had that same rolling tide feel to them. They crescendoed up and then kind of faded back down, and the whole song kind of carried on with that sort of wave sound, I guess, that wave feel, which makes me wonder, in what order did you come up with that song? How do you go about choosing samples?
I don't know. It's just random, actually. Just this fits. This is pretty cool. This works. Like the ocean, I added it at the last point of my creative process, actually. Just like this would be cool to add in the intro, and then just added it in the intro.
yeah. I feel you. Another one of the albums that you sent me was called "Call Me Back," and the entire album feels like a story, but not like an upfront one that you could read. Like, it's almost like referencing a story that's happening out of you. And in fact, one of the songs, I think it was "Hang Loose," I heard the "You Complete Me" speech from the movie Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one who actually managed to find the sample.
That's awesome.
Project, our company, had a very big night. A very, very big night. But it wasn't complete. It wasn't nearly close to being in the same vicinity as complete, because I couldn't share it with you. I couldn't hear your voice.
So what part does storytelling play in your work, your just music in general?
Yeah, like in the song "Hang Loose" with the speech in the middle and stuff. I really like to use that kind of stuff just for some background. Just like, this is what makes me feel. How do you say this? This is what the song conveys to me. And then I start digging and searching for dialogues that fit the feeling I get from the song. And then again, the speech actually fit the name of the album and the concept of the album. So I thought that would be a good choice to use.
It did, and all through that album, there are kind of not so much vocal samples, but spoken samples.
Yeah, spoken word samples. That's probably because I'm not that good with vocals.
Well, you made really good use of the spoken samples. They first off, they're produced really, really well. They're put into the music in a way that doesn't feel like on top. It doesn't feel like karaoke. It feels very well produced. That they're blended together, and like you said, that specific speech from that movie fit the tone of that music well. And I noticed that same kind of tonal, emotional connection between the music and the vocal, the spoken samples in the other songs. So I think that's really cool. I'd like to hear both more of your let's call it nature hop. Nature
hop. That's pretty good, man. I like that name.
So another thing, though, that I was insanely surprised by after having listened to so much of your music, and it all kind of has that electronic club scene, almost like I said, meditative stance, style. I listened to your entry into Life's Everyday soundtrack, which was called Life's Everyday Skate Sesh.
Yeah.
the first part of my question on that is, would you say skating is something that influences your music in a way? Because I know culture of skating and music, but be it hip hop, techno, electronic, punk rock, all those things have cross connections in with like a skate culture. So is that something that you think about a lot when you make music? Do you skate to your own music?
Nah, I never skate to music at all, actually. But if I'd skate to music, it'll probably old school hip hop or something like that.
Yeah.
But I notice like more and more skaters are starting to listen to house music and electronic music. Like my friends on here in Belgium, and my friends on Instagram, I see them post like there's on their stories like house songs that I thought they never knew or something.
Yeah.
And I just think like maybe they'd like my music too if they like house music.
Another thing I wanted to ask just about your that track is it is a departure, I'll say, from the rest of your music.
True.
It still has some of your unique sound in there. There's like little percussion parts that I can identify. There's a big bass sound. The bass is very prominent. But also there's some stuff that's very unusual, just comparing it to the rest of your music. The cadence itself is very different. The dynamic is very kind of blasts you in the face and then stays there the whole time. It doesn't have as much of that fluctuation. So I wanted to ask about the process of making that song, specifically in the context of having rules or a guided line applied to you. Was that easier to create or harder to create?
Yeah, it made the process actually a lot faster. I've already got the chords before me. I got the top melody has been handed to me. I just started playing with grooves actually, but I was like, maybe I should try a different genre that I usually make. And I started thinking about hip hop because I made a lot of hip hop back in the day. Back in the day when I was so young.
Yeah.
And I thought
so when you say
maybe
you made hip hop back in the day, did you do did you rap? Did you do vocals? Hip hop vocals?
Yeah, not really rapping, just the beat. I made the beats for people and for myself, and just to learn producing. What I like to do is actually implement some ethnic vibes into into the beats. That's why I chose the name Monks, because it's kind of ethnic. Yeah, just I thought that should be something I could manage to pull off, because I made a lot of hip hop, and it worked. I think it worked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so for sure. Like I said, it was different from your other work, but it wasn't a bad song. Like that doesn't make it bad. No. It was definitely a jam.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still, to me, it feels still like my sound. I think just with a different groove, something more slow or I don't know. Yeah, I like making it, so it was really fun.
I really enjoyed your song on what I'm going to refer to as our sister show, Life's Everyday Soundtrack.
Yeah.
Are you planning on kind of keeping up with that and entering more of his future episodes with more songs?
I'd love to, actually.
Yeah.
The next episode, I'm probably going to leave it to some other people, because I don't want to like how do you say it?
Well, yeah, you leave space. I got you. You want to leave space for... Yeah, that makes sense. I am absolutely not an authority on the subject, but I imagine Saran would tell you that there's space for you. your song was very good. But either way, I look forward to hearing you next time you're on it, be it this next episode or the one after that, whatever it happens to be. But
I look forward to making another song, so... Yeah.
And hey, it doesn't have to be on the show, honestly. You can just make more songs, I'll listen to those too. But I want to talk to you about the why of your music. Why do you spend time making music? What is it that you want the listener or the world or your own life to take away from your music? What are you trying to achieve?
This is probably gonna sound a little corny, but I just want people to feel something when you listen to my music. Like if you listen to pop music or something. I'm not saying that all pop music is bad, but it's kind of bland. I don't really get a lot of emotional feelings or emotions at all from pop music.
Yeah.
So I try to really touch the people that listen to my stuff, even though it's not that many people. But
Well, I think
that's the thing that really gets me going. Is like if someone feels sad or happy or I don't know about a song that I made.
Yeah. I think that there's as Saran coined, an emotional resonance to your music that absolutely translates. And I believe if you just keep making it without thinking about building this audience, the audience will come because of the genuineness of your sound.
Yeah.
You know, it's good stuff.
So.
I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
But yeah, another thing I want to be sure we give some time to is where on the vastness of the internet can we find all your stuff? I've already kind of mentioned your Bandcamp, but shout out some other stuff, other places we can find you. I'll be sure to include the rest of the. No, you're perfectly fine. I'll be sure to include the rest of these links and stuff in the show notes.
Yeah, okay. You can find me on SoundCloud, on Spotify, Bandcamp, Deezer, iHeartRadio or something. I don't know what it's called. Like actually just all the platforms you can think of are probably I'm on there probably.
Okay.
Because
awesome.
It goes automatically when I send my stuff in to DistroKid and stuff.
Yeah. The DistroKid's really good about that.
Yeah, it's pretty nice actually. The only downside is that if you don't pay the next year, your songs get removed from everything.
Yeah, not just removed, but like deleted. You can't even pay again. You gotta upload everything again.
that's one thing I'm not so sure about the whole DistroKid thing, but so far it's all right. Actually,
like I said, I'll put those links somewhere where anybody listening to this after the fact can find them. And now I actually want to take some time, if you still have time to keep talking with me. Awesome. To open up for some community questions for the the folks listening live. Guys, if you have any questions for Monks, for Don, go ahead and type them into the chat here, and we'll answer as they come in. Avdrev, he asked if we already asked about the name Monks. We kind of did, but I kind of asked it in a way that didn't give you a time to really explain.
First time I came across Monks was actually I was browsing through Reddit on a graffiti subreddit, and someone made a bomb about just saying Monks. And I was like, I'm searching for a new name, and this could work. And I wrote it down on my phone or on a piece of paper, and I kept it for some time, and I decided to just take it because, like I said back then, I made some ethnic-oriented music and hip hop beats with like Japanese instruments in them and stuff. So I thought it would be a great choice. But now it's not that relevant anymore, but I'll just stick with it.
I think it's cool. We're getting a few questions about your drum design secrets. So talk to me about how you choose your drums, how you EQ them. What are your drum designs? What would you say are the tips?
One great tip is actually when I make my snare, I don't really use just one sample. I like to layer a lot of samples on top, like rim shots and hand claps and all that stuff, and then span them around like one hand clap, hard band to the left, one hard band to the right, and then compress them down to make it more glued together. And it gives like one snappy snare in the middle, and then like the hand claps for some stereo width. That seems to really work in my case. So that's one of the things I like to use. And organic samples like coins falling on a table or someone opening a can of beer or something like that. Yeah, that stuff really works.
Yeah,
It makes it stand out a bit, I think.
yeah, there's a lot of rich organicness to your drums. I see what they're saying for sure. That's kind of the percussion element that I was talking about. There's a lot of aside from the 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a lot going on between those spaces that really make your drum grooves rich.
Yeah, I try to do that.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Sorry.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. You're doing really. So Boz actually asked another question. We'll ask his question now since he likes your name so much. Have you ever made any music videos to yourself skating? Have you ever videoed your skate stuff?
I've made some short clips on Instagram about a song that I've made, and then some skate clips on top.
Awesome.
Not really like a full-on music video with like 5 minutes of footage. No, I've never really done that yet.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Could be a good idea.
Yeah, I think so for sure. You should as the music glitches, you should glitch your video too. Like here you are on this side, but now you're on this side. You know.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sorry, that's a silly idea.
No, it's not a silly idea. It's actually a cool idea.
Awesome. Well, I hope it is useful to you at some point. What is your favorite song of yours that you've made?
Oh, that's a hard one. I'm going with "Falling in Honey" from my latest EP. It's not that special actually, but I think it just sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like sounds are really, I don't know, they really fit. It's not that melodically impressive or something, but I just like the song really much. Much.
yeah, I dig it too. I will. Well, Saran's listening. He's the one who asked that question. He'll check that one out. Yeah. How do you go about your melodies? So you've already kind of gone over with your groove, your drum beat, and then what do you do to put those melodies together on top?
One thing I like to do is just jamming over it with my guitar, and then just pick something out and then convert it to some other sound, like play it again, but just on my keyboard with another sound over mapped to it, and then just see if it sticks, and if it doesn't, I'll try something else, or just jam on my keyboard. And but I think it's a really hard part of making music. Like, good melodies is really hard.
Yeah, for sure. That's that's where a lot of the catchiness of a tune comes in.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. I think your melodies are really, really entertaining. That you start with guitar. Do you ever, or maybe ever plan to? I listened to your tracks. I didn't hear in them. I could have just missed it. But do you ever use guitar in your recordings?
I've actually made a song that I've just released on SoundCloud with a guitar solo in it.
Oh, nice.
It's a remix, and I just played some guitar over it.
Awesome. I will.
It's one of the first times I actually used my guitar in a song, actually.
I'll check it out, but I'm already eager to hear it, and I hope that's something that kind of persists. I feel like guitar would really enhance that dynamic idea that really interests me about some of your tracks. Like, you kind of keep that heartbeat going, but then dropping a guitar on top would be like a whole other element. I'd enjoy that.
One of your favorite effects technique.
Yeah.
The thing I use most is actually like reverse reverbing. Like, you put reverb on like you have a sample, you reverse it, you put reverb on it, and then you bounce it down, and then you reverse it again. So you have like a lead into your sound.
Yeah,
one of the things I really like to use.
It's like a fade in, not a fade out. Is that kind of
a little bit more washed out than that?
Yeah. And that actually leads into our next question from Stripe McCoy, pretty effortlessly. I like the way he worded the question. You're trapped in a studio overnight. What 5 plugins do you want with you? So I'd say plugins or effects. Whatever context that answer might be.
Do instruments also count?
Sure. Yeah, let's throw that in there too.
I'd probably take my guitar, and for like synths, I take Operator from Ableton. I don't know if you were familiar with that. It's like a FM synth.
Okay.
And then probably a transient shaper, because that's the thing I use most, and SSL comp from Waves, and then like an EQ or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
yeah. You gotta have some way to actually mix it, you know. Awesome. So a follow up to the kind of melody question is like vocal chops. What's your technique mixing in like the different vocal samples or spoken samples things that you use? We kind of talked about how they sound really well produced in the the total mix. What do you do to get that go?
Probably
effect?
I just there's like this one plugin called in Ableton. It's called Drum Rack, and you what you get is like a couple of pads which you can play like a drum machine, and I just put my vocal samples in there, and I just shift the start time. So I just play the sample, and then I'll move the start of the sample like a little bit until I find something that I like, and that's just, and I'll repeat that about 8 times or something, and then
Gotcha.
I can make some vocal chops.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're getting a specific question about the Brandy. So what did you do different or with the vocals as far as that song goes?
Which song are you talking about?
I Want to Be Down. Where I think you sampled Brandy.
That's the one that I told you about with the guitar solo.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. What was the question again? Sorry.
Just how did you? It may not be different from the answer you just gave me about vocal chops, but how did you work with the vocals on that song specifically?
I actually made the beat at first, and I was like, it misses something, and I just went around and started looking for acapellas, and then I already knew this original song. And I always thought, like, I need to remix this song. This is such a cool vocal. Yeah. And then it like came together, and I was really happy because I found the acapella, and it reminded me that I really wanted to remix the song, and that's how it came to be. Yeah.
It sounds like you have kind of a free form approach to starting and making a song. If you were going to just share a tip with people looking to create art the way you create art, what would you say are the tips that you have to share, or even your secret ingredients that you've discovered in 7 years now making music?
I'm still really struggling with starting and finishing projects. Actually, it doesn't come easy to me. I really struggle with finding the right sounds and the right melodies and stuff. But if you don't start, you never manage to make anything out of it. The main tip that I'd give is just start, man. Just start jamming, and maybe you'll get something out of it. That's how all my songs started, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I think there's an infinite amount of value in that advice. You know, it's not critical that you make something worth, paying DistroKid to put on the internet, but you're not gonna make something worth paying DistroKid to put on the internet if you don't start, if you don't get jamming. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate your time today and your answer. I want to give you some time to maybe shout out anything else that you'd like to say. If you want to teach us some Dutch, we'd all be grateful for that. Or you want to?
You want to learn some Dutch?
Absolutely, yeah. Get it going. Tom.
What do you want to learn?
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it simple, all right?
Okay, do it.
Just hallo, alles goed.
Hallo, alles goed.
Goed, G. G.
Alles goed.
Yeah, it's with a G, like not a real G, a different G.
Gotcha.
It means hello, how are you doing, or everything all right, or something like that.
Oh, gotcha. I like it. How would you say Bentley is the best?
Bentley is the beste.
Oh wow, that's almost the same.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah. Awesome. I appreciate that, man. What else? Shout out. Anything else you might want to let the community know, or future listeners.
Shout out to all the guys here for making this community such a fun and engaging experience. Shout out to you, because you're doing this right now, and I'm so glad to be on. And shout out to Pax and Vulps, because without them there wouldn't be indie music feedback. And shout out to my mom, because I love her.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell your mom you love her in Dutch.
Mama, ik hou van jou.
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Well, I'm grateful for your time, man. I'm going to get off the call now.
All right.
It has been splendid talking with you.
Yeah, it was really fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
I love what Don had to say about wanting his music to make people feel. His music carried a lot of melodies and dynamics and concepts that can be considered emotional, but I think what gives his music a more significant emotional edge is his genuineness. If he continues creating music with the goal of waking up the hearts of his listeners, I believe it is only a matter of time before they hear him loud and clear. What Don said about the only tip he has is to start jamming spoke to me too. No matter how much we plan and study, sometimes the best ideas happen to us. Art and creativity are funny like that. In some ways, all we can do is work to entertain ourselves and believe someday we will find someone who hears what we hear in the music we make. I hope you take some time to check out Don's link that I will post in the show notes. You can find his music there and interact with him online. Also, take some time to go check out Indie Music Feedback, both on Reddit and on Discord. The link to that will be in the show notes as well. As some of you probably know, we started hosting the show on Buzzsprout recently, and to cover the costs of that, we set up a Kickstarter. And miraculously, the Kickstarter was covered in less than 12 hours. So we are funded. There will be some promotions and things that go into making sure the most people possible hear what these artists are willing to share with us. I want to be sure that this is a space that is efficient and respectful of the artists' time and their talent, so that the most people possible are going to be able to hear the things they share. One of the rewards for giving to the Kickstarter was having your song featured here in the outro of an episode. So currently you're hearing a song by Moonglow. He is a talented guy. He uses electronic elements, he uses guitar, he sings, he writes his own songs, things like that. You can find his music in the show notes. I'll have a link tree set up with all the sponsors listed, so be sure to check them out. There is something for every ear in the community that we are a part of, and also just in the array of people who have shown up to support this show. So I'll let the song play out from this point. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you check out the artists we've featured today. Of course, Monks Online and Moonglow. I'm grateful for your time, and I'm excited to share some again soon. Until then, stay courageous, stay curious, and stay creative.